Hello everybody, welcome back to my video series discussing every Pokemon in this game. This time I'm going over the Persian. The Persian is a normal type, where subsequently it has the snoozing sleep type. The same is true for Meowth, it's pre-evolution. Now, Persian is a bit of a sad case. It has been given the same sort of lack of any sort of viability that it has in the base game. So, it's got the skill specialty, and skill specialists, they not only need to have a good amount of skill procs per day, but they need to have a strong skill. And unfortunately for the Persian, it's got Dream Shard Magnet S fixed, which a lot of players have seemed to have pretty much agreed that Dream Shard Magnet in its current state is not very useful because running one of these Pokemon comes at an opportunity cost. And the biggest thing is, the way that a skill Pokemon contributes to the team is through the value of its skill. And since this is just giving Dream Shards directly to your bank, it's not increasing Snorlax's strength at all. And which it is somewhat increasing Snorlax's strength through its ingredients and berries, but it's primarily looking just to gain Dream Shards directly, which means it's not contributing to Snorlax's strength. And not building up Snorlax's strength means that you see weaker sleep styles and therefore gain less Dream Shards from sleep research, which means by running this skill, not only does this skill have to produce a decent amount of Dream Shards itself, but it needs to actually produce a decent amount past what you're losing in having a weaker Snorlax that week. Now, there is a niche usage for these skills in the case that if you are hunting a specific Pokemon, you can figure out what drowsy power they're most likely to spawn at, and then run these guys effectively to not build up Snorlax at all anymore, but still produce Dream Shards so that you're not starving for the shards like you otherwise would be. But that's a really, really niche usage, and you have to be really good at managing your account to ensure that you don't accidentally collect its berries to get off the drowsy power that you're targeting. So, yeah, it's a skill specialist, and even what it doesn't do the best. The fixed value Dream Shard Magnet produces less than the variant value Dream Shard Magnet. In fact, if I'm to go and take a look at the variable, you can see that the range is, at base, it's 120 to 480. Midpoint of that is 360. This produces 240. And that trend continues throughout all levels. The 900 to 3600. 1800 is just double what 900 is. So, generally speaking, this skill is the better option if you're looking to gain Dream Shards. You want the variable one. Additionally, even within the fixed one, the Persian is the weakest option. So, it's just the worst of the worst for skills Pokemon. It's one of the worst Pokemon in this entire game, because even the niche that it does fill, it doesn't fill well. It only procs about 3 times a day. If you look at these variable ones, the Swalot, which is honestly the best option for if you need a Dream Shard Magnet Mon, procs 4 times a day and has a stronger skill. So, I would pretty much never recommend the Persian for this purpose, which is a very niche purpose to begin with, because it's just outdone by other Pokemon in this game. It's even outdone by an event Pikachu, which is kind of an unevolved Mon. Not really, because they gave it a little boost in frequency, but it's close to being an unevolved Mon. So, the Persian's just terrible. But I do want to talk about something that the Persian's got going for it that other skill specialists don't. Now, its ingredient rate is rather low, and its inventory is kind of small. However, one of the ingredients that it produces is milk. And if you have a mono milk Persian, then I think there's a little bit of potential for that, because if you look at the meals and across here, if you look at all these meals, there's currently not a single meal that takes more than 12 milk. Even amongst the highest echelons of desserts, which are the ones that take the most milk, the highest that you're seeing is 10. Meaning, realistically, if you want to consistently make these meals, you really only need to be producing about 30 milk a day. And as of right now, we don't have a dedicated milk. Well, we do have a dedicated milk farmer, but that dedicated milk farmer is Blastoise, which right now serves a better job being the dedicated cocoa farmer, because our current cocoa farmer is Absol, who isn't very good at the job. So, for the purpose of milk farming, what can Persian do? Now, Persian's got, like I said, a low ingredient rate and a mid frequency, but at the same time, it only needs to produce enough. And I was thinking, if you're to have just base Persian, which I put these on here for hypotheticals earlier, you just have base Persian with an ABC list, it's producing 25 milk. And my thoughts here, I guess, are that since it is so terrible at doing its one skill, maybe this is what we go for. Now, I did put it in the Flareon for comparison's sake, because evolutions are another common way to get milk, because it does take such little milk. And as you can see, the AAA Persian does outproduce the ABB Blastoise. So, doing that is a big difference. I'm sorry, the music cut off there. Let me fix that. Okay. Yeah, the ABB Blastoise is outproduced in milk by the Persian, but it's also outproduced by the Flareon, and pretty much every evolution is going to outproduce the Persian for this sake. But you might not come across that. So maybe the Persian's the right option, because the Flareon, you're looking for skills. You're looking for skill procs, and you're really not looking for ingredients. So I guess this lack of a particular role, even within the skills itself, does allow you to open up the role for the Persian to try and farm that milk that you normally wouldn't care about on a skill specialist. I don't think it's a meta pick by any means, but it's just some potential for the cat. If you have a mono milk Blastoise, that'll be far better at making milk, but you're just never going to need that much milk. So, for the time being, if you happen to stumble upon a mono milk Persian that has good ingredient finding stats, you know, it's not the worst thing to run if you are looking to target these higher tier desserts. Would I recommend catching it? No. It's still a Persian. You're going to do better with just a mid evolution. Unless you particularly really like Persian's design, I would never recommend catching this stupid cat. But there is something interesting going on with its milk. So, that's all I have to say about the Persian. It also produces sausage, but nothing. I mean, I guess is there a milk sausage meal? I don't even think there. Oh, there's Snowcloak Caesar salad. If you want to make this meal, which I don't know why you would, it's a really, really weak meal, but you really shouldn't be looking at meals below like 25% boost. I'd say below like this line. This line right here before the Spore Mushroom Curry, the Waterfail Tofu Salad, and the Petal Dance Chocolate Tart. Anything before this line isn't really worth thinking about, giving two thoughts for, in my mind. But, yeah. So, given all that, I don't think the Persian's really worth much. But if you want to force it into something, it's making milk. Thank you. Bye.